All right, boys and girls, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna pick up from where we are off from the previous lesson. So what we did yesterday is we took our plastic bags, like right here, and we took them and we folded them up, and then we end up cutting off the handle like this. We cut off the base like that, and then we started cutting strips like this. Now the next step is what basically is the most important part. This is how we're going to get this complete spiral. To do that, you're going to start with a contrasting piece. So usually you're going to start off with like a blue or black or gray or whatever color we have. I'm going to start off as the coil. The center part is going to be black. So just like we did with the other white piece, we're going to fold this. Always start from the base to get the air out. Fold it over again, and then we're going to kind of fold it over to make it like a rope. All right. This is going to become the working end, the end where the handle is. What we're going to do is we're going to take these little pieces that we cut out. Remember, we cut out about 100 to 150 of them. You're going to open it up, and if you notice, you have like a loop. What we're going to do is we're going to take this loop and slide it underneath like this. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to fold it over, and you're going to notice that it goes on the inside of this loop. What I'm going to do is with my hand, I'm going to go up underneath there, hold the bag, and pull it through. You're noticing what it's doing is creating like a tie or a knot. This is a very, very simple knot. And what we're going to do is tie it down so it gets pretty tight. We're going to move it down so it's about an inch left of this loop down here. All right, so I'm going to pull it a little bit tight. Remember, you don't want to pull these too tight because if you do that, it's going to get it and it might rip the plastic. What we're going to do now is we're going to add on to this because we're going to be making a lot of tying at this point. We're going to need extra length. Remember, what we're trying to do is create yarn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this loop, and just like we did right here, I'm going to take this loop over here, take this piece, pull it through, flip it over, grab, and pull. Now, to make it so that it tightens properly, you're going to want to take this piece right here and open it up and pull. You'll notice it makes a nice little knot. Now we're ready to start spinning this and tightening it down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this around, making sure I'm overlapping that little tiny knot that I have. I'm going to do that a couple times. So what this is doing is ensuring that it's not going to slip or spin around as we're doing this. What we're going to do is I try to spin the plastic to make it flatter. If it doesn't, it goes like that, it gets real skinny. I want it to be a little bit wider so it covers up more area of the black. So I'm going to keep rotating this around. And you notice look how my fingers are on this plastic. All right, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to hold this and keep this sort of straight. And I'm going to keep pulling this. And notice how I'm flipping this around. I don't want it to get too skinny. I want to keep it sort of wide. I'm going to rotate this around. I'm tying this down. All right. As I do this, I'm going to try to get about an inch. Now, if you notice, that's close enough to being an inch. Now is the part where we're going to make the very center of this. This is the beginning of the spiral. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to fold it over just like this. So I'm going to show you that again. I'm going to have this turn. I'm going to fold it over. So now, if we have a needle, once we add it to this, it'll come up through that part. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie one more loop around here, tie it, pull it tight, and I'm going to go around a couple more times. So watch. 1, 1, 2. That's enough. Now with my hand, now if you're left-handed, you're going to be holding it with your left, and if you're right-handed, you might be holding it like that. So I'm going to be holding this with my left hand, keeping it tight, and I'm going to take this end over here, and I'm going to add that needle. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this down for the time being, take this plastic, and I kind of fold it like this, and just like if you were sewing, I'm going to slip it through that eye. Notice how I did that. Right through there. Now I'm going to want to pull it down a couple inches. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I'm going to stick it from the bottom, not from the top, from the bottom, go up through the center. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start wrapping this just like this. And what I'm slowly doing is I'm trying to go all the way around this little loop. Why am I doing this? Anybody have any ideas? what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to strengthen this. This is the very center of your basket. This is the most important part. Notice what I'm doing right here is I'm pulling this down because I noticed they were all going on this side. So I want them to go all the way around. So I'm gonna go like this one more time. Come up through, pull this plastic over here. Now I'm pretty satisfied. Maybe one more. Go up right there. All right. See what I'm doing with my thumb? I'm gonna pull it over. Hold that. Now, what I'm gonna do is I need to cover up all of this loose stuff over here. So I'm gonna wrap this. I'm just gonna go around here and I'm gonna start going around until I have about all of this covered up. And I have enough material that I can start folding it around, which that's not enough. If you notice, I'm probably gonna have to go to a right about here to get it touch. So I'm gonna have to wrap this around. Now, what I need to do is I need to do the same thing as I did before, and I have to add on. So I'm gonna take this loop, and this is where it helps. You're gonna have a bunch of these. So I'm gonna do this, pull through, pull it tight. Now, I know I'm gonna be doing a lot from here on out, so I'm gonna add another one right here. You notice, once you get really fast at it, or really good at it, it goes very, very fast. So now the same thing is, I'm gonna take this down here, I'm gonna take this little 1 inch wide plastic strips that we cut out. Remember, we're not cutting 1/2 inch wide, we're cutting 1 inch wide, or as close to as possible. I'm gonna stick that through it. Sometimes it can be a little bugger. It's hard to get through, but do your best to get it right on the first shot. Now, I'm gonna continue, because I've added over here, and I'm gonna start wrapping around. And it's all right if you can see some of the other plastic below it, it's not a big deal. And every time I'm pulling, I'm trying to get it pretty tight. I want it pretty tight. Now, if you notice, it's about the time for me to start. So I'm gonna start taking this. Now I've got this underneath here, I'm gonna fold it like that. And I'm gonna take this needle, I'm gonna go right up through the center of that eye. So if you watch. Now what I've done is I've basically created that first spiral. Now what's gonna happen is I'm gonna come around here, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shift it over here, and I'm gonna start rotating. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you'll notice it's a little bit hard at first, but I've got this little section now. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rotate it around like that. And with that needle, go up through the center again. And this is where it helps. You need to keep this. If I pulled it too tight, I could end up pulling it up like that. See how that's doing that? I don't want that. I want to keep this flat. So I'm going to pull it tight to right there. Now, I'm going to go back over like that. I'm going to continue wrapping. Remember how many times we wrap it? We wrap it 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now if you notice what's happening right here, it's kind of getting funky. This bag is getting out like that. So what you can do is every once in a while, if you take your index finger and you kind of go like that, you wrap it around like this, you can squeeze the air out, you can kind of make like a little rope. What I like to do is when I'm doing this, I will hold it down with my leg. Obviously I have it on the table right now, so I can't show you that. But that way it keeps it in place. And so when you're sitting in your seat, you might be able to do that. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap this around again. Same thing. I'm gonna hold it down with my left hand, trying to keep that spiral. Notice this is sort of looking like a mint or something like that, like a little spiral mint. What I'm gonna do now is hold it up through the center. And you can see that I've got that spiral going. Now all I'm going to do is, just like before, I'm going to pull it over here, and I'm going to wrap it around 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to spin it like this, and up through. Now, if you noticed, what's happened is I'm moving around it. I'm gonna no longer go through the center. This is the center of the spiral. Now this is the next row. So what I'm gonna do is not go up through the center anymore, but now I'm gonna go up through the next row, which is right here. So I'm gonna pull that up through, And what's going to happen is every single time you add another row, instead of going through the center, you're going to go through the next row. So I'm going to keep going, wrapping it around. I'm going to end up in this row, and I'm going to start tracing all the way around here until I end up creating this, where I end up making the spiral. So from here, what I'm going to do is we're going to show this video. You're going to see this, and then I'm going to show you right in class how we're going to do this. And we're all going to do it step by step by step. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you.